Welcome back to the Gal Matrix, Kelly.
Thanks, Elizabeth. It's great to be here.
Or should I call you by all your names, which
We don't
would
have that
be,
much time.
it gives me so much pleasure that we get to talk about literally anything that we want to talk about from our 15 plus years in the software industry.
hmm hmm
Yeah, yeah.
hmm
So today our topic is when HR is your babysitter.
How fun.
Yes, yes. So just for the folks at home who may not know us, we worked together for a very long time in a large, very large software company, and you led the HR delivery arm, and I was one of your HR
Arms.
minions,
hmm
your
hmm
arms, and I supported sales
Yes, you
for
did.
most of my
hmm
career.
hmm
And so one of the fun things we got to do was we would get sent to the annual sales kickoff event
hmm In the debauchery capital of the United States.
in
hmm
Las Vegas,
hmm
and there would be unlimited alcohol.
Pretty much.
So I was thinking about, I mean, there's a million memories that we could share, not to mention one of my jobs was that I was the head of corporate investigations. So not only did we get to attend the sales conference, but then I and my team would spend the next week.
Investigating yourselves. Well, not
No,
yourself, but
okay, that is another episode. No,
no,
we
it was
would,
checking out all the rumors and accusations and everything that everyone would have after one of those meetings, which was inevitable. If you put enough people together, give them enough alcohol, and no guardrails, I'll be darned.
yeah, it was, it was amazing. I mean, there's so many stories that we could tell, and we will share some of them. But one of the things that always struck me about it was that I was being paid to babysit other people's behavior
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
when we both know that
Too late for them to get their money back.
I'm I'm one of the most impulsive, inappropriate, up for anything, hold my beer kinds of people. And so there was
That's
always
mostly
this,
true. Mm-hmm.
that's it is. Um, I've mellowed some,
Mm-hmm.
but the funny part to me, I always had a cognitive dissonance because we would go and we would do trainings. Usually, we were training people how not to sexually harass each other. That was usually our job at the sales conference.
It's true. Not a well attended class, I might add.
Nope, no, it was not. And so then we'd be at the banquet, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'd be at the
Mm-hmm.
banquet, and usually
Mm-hmm.
there were a bunch of speakers, some maybe like somebody. Oh my God, I just remembered the year that the head of sales played that video of being on somebody being on a mother effing boat. Do you remember that? And we had like
No.
five complaints the next week
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah. Oh my
about how
goodness. Yeah.
offended people were by,
Yeah.
and it was to announce the winners of the club trip.
That's right.
People were so offended. Anyway, what I also remember is this feeling of being the absolute pariahs. We were
hmm
the pariahs of the
hmm
sales
I
conference, and
know.
it would make me so mad because
Might as been walking around with toilet paper on your shoe. Yeah.
yes, people would walk in
hmm
and they would walk up to our table and then they would realize that it was HR and they would pretend that they weren't intending to sit there, and they would walk on by and find
Yep.
another table.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, it would make me so mad. I wanted to be like, hey, I'm cool. I'm fun. You're missing out by not sitting next to me.
No kidding. We had all the best stories.
Okay, so speaking of stories, so one of my favorite times was when we went to Las Vegas. And the trick, by the way, here's the free tip. The trick is to drink, but not get so drunk that you're the
Part of the
idiot,
problem. Mm-hmm.
that you're
Yes.
part of the problem,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
not that hard, honestly. Okay,
No.
okay. I mean,
It would depend on what the theme was for the night.
right. So anyway, usually my rule of thumb was if I was like, should I have one more? Then the answer was usually no. No, I
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't.
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
so you remember, I know you remember this. So you went to bed because you were smart, and I had another drink, and I went on the dance floor, and I decided that you needed to get back up, that you went to bed too early.
I
Plus, you had a
did.
super cute tracksuit. And we're gonna have a whole other episode called
Brings a
Dressing for
tracksuit to a
Success,
sales meeting.
a la Kelly Heard. But for this episode, we're just talking about babysitting other people. So I went up to the DJ and I requested your one of your favorite songs, Dancing Queen by ABBA.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I went
Who
to
doesn't
your,
love that song?
oh, you'd
No
have to
one.
be a maniac to not
Mm-hmm.
love that
Right.
song. But anyway, I went to your room and I woke you up and I said, you have to come downstairs. You have to come to the dance floor right now. There's a big surprise. And you were like, "What? I'm sleeping." But you got back up and you put back on your adorable tracksuit and you came downstairs and you proceeded to come when you heard your song come on. You went into the dance floor and you took the top of your tracksuit off. You
I
were
had
wearing
a
a tank top
t-shirt. Yep.
underneath.
Thank you.
Yes, I know you weren't naked. Anyway, you started doing that with your tracksuit, and all these like drunk sales guys made a circle around you. Do you remember this?
I kind of remember that. Yeah.
Oh my God, you were such a hit. You
Mm,
were
hmm.
such a hit.
Mm-hmm. It kind of takes you off the moral high ground, though, later when you're asking people if they were grabbing someone else's privates or something.
True. But honestly, I felt like you were a legend. People were so impressed. Plus, you had great dance moves. So then, this is the best part. You get off the dance floor, you look at me, and you're like, there, are you happy? I'm going back to bed. And I was walking with you, and the gentleman who we will refer to as Darnell from last episode that you were
Mm-hmm.
on,
Mm-hmm.
he saw you. He was drunk as a skunk. He could barely, he was swaying. And he walked
Yes.
up to you. He walked up to you and was like, Kelly, wow. And you looked at him and you were like, it's time for you to go to bed, Darnell.
I
And then you just
know.
like brushed past him and went back to your.
I think he was declaring that I was a cougar. I'm not sure.
I think you're right. He was. I never understood that until
I
right
never
this
thought about it
minute.
until much later either. So, not a compliment, I don't think.
I think he meant it as a compliment
In his own weird way, I
in
imagine.
his own weird way. True.
Mhm.
Okay, so What are some of the things? Here's some of the, just in no particular order, some of the things that I recall investigating post
Oh,
sales
do
conference.
tell. Mm-hmm.
There was the gentleman who misunderstood the flirting of
Oh,
his,
yeah. Oh, my God.
uh-huh. He was a
Oh,
systems engineer. This is so cringy. He was a systems engineer. He'd been flirting with his sales partner. It was during the time when 24 was big, the show 24.
oh, right,
Remember
right,
with
right.
Kiefer
Uh-huh.
Sutherland,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he had been recording. This was like in Devo days. Or no, TiVo, TiVo.
TiVo, yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
so he had recorded the latest episode and he had convinced himself that his sales partner counterpart was in love with him.
It's true.
And he went to the conference early
Yes.
and
Oh, my
he
God. I'd forgotten about this. Oh,
switched,
my
remember
God.
this? He switched their rooms
Yes. Oh,
so that they had adjoining suites.
yes. Yes.
And
Oh,
then oh my God. And then he sent a limo to the airport to pick her up, and it
that's
had
right.
champagne and like 3 dozen roses or something in it. And
Mm,
she was like flipping out. And he had recorded in that dun, 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 in the sound of the show a like it was like an invitation to a special romantic evening together where they were going to watch 24.
I had,
And oh
oh,
God.
God.
Yeah.
I'd, wow, the ability to cringe someone across what 15 years of time, still, that still stands out as one of the worst, I think. Mhm.
That was so brutal. Okay, so yeah, that guy. And the conference hadn't even started, remember? And we had to have he got
Did,
sent home
did she go
from the
home?
conference.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
He
right.
called his manager.
Uh-huh.
And because the woman wouldn't go, she like went to the front desk and she was like, they were like, oh, your partner's already checked in to your adjoining suite. And she was like, oh, hell no. And she called her husband and she left. Anyway, that was that.
Did we fire him?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's what I thought. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that that did cross a big fat line, but I can't remember every time we fired someone. So poor guy.
That's because we fired probably thousands of people well in the time that we were there. That's not
He
good
does
karma.
stand out though.
That's not good karma. Okay, but how about this person? Okay, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
So this person um got so drunk and they like grabbed somebody's boobs on the dance floor. And then that person left. They like, left for the evening and they complained about the guy that had fondled them on the dance floor. And then they went to their room. Somehow the fondler had had a key. They had somehow acquired a key to this person's hotel room. They went back to their room, passed out, somehow like they were blacked out, got naked, and
That's right.
let themselves into this person's hotel room and got in bed
Got
with
into bed.
them
Yes.
naked and started
Yes.
spooning them.
Oh my God.
And here's what I want to say about that. I want to say about that. We've all been there. Not that specific thing, but we've all been the guy that embarrasses ourselves.
Yes.
I have done it. I have
Uh-huh.
embarrassed the shit out of myself. In
Oh
fact,
gosh. Well,
my God,
yes,
this
you've
is so
you've been there for
brutal.
most of those with me. I honestly can say that I believe our benchmark was far above that, the pole by which we would not go under or over. I guess it depends on how you look at it. But yeah, I don't ever remember. getting a call from you saying I spooned someone naked
Naked.
that didn't want me to spoon them.
Your coworker. Yeah.
Which one? Oh, never. Okay, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Oops.
No, you never did anything like that. In
No, I
fact,
didn't. No,
I
but
know.
people did. Actually, I forgot. Never. Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, I know what you're remembering. Okay, we won't tell that story.
Yep.
But another one, and I could keep going for hours, but another one that was
Mhm.
really a favorite of mine was the three guys who were from three different countries in Europe who hired hookers to come to their hotel room
Mhm.
after the sales kickoff meeting. This was the European sales kickoff meeting, so we didn't actually go to this, but
Yep. And more fun. Mhm.
they were from three countries that had really different employment laws.
Mhm.
And they went home and, they got reported, but in one of the countries, I want to say it was like Belgium or something, when I was interviewing them, oh, by the way, they expensed it. They
That's how they
expensed
got caught. I was
the
trying to remember how
hookers.
they got caught. Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's what it was. They expensed the hookers.
That's
When I was
not a
interviewing them,
reimbursable expense. Mm-mm.
no, it isn't. No. Um, I had to, I wasn't allowed to refer to them as hookers or prostitutes.
What
Okay.
were they called? I forgot.
No, well, because of the employment laws in Belgium, I had to, it was like I was assuming, I was treating them as if they were guilty of something that I didn't yet have
Hmm.
an admission of guilt from them. So I referred to them as women who were expecting to get paid for a service that they were delivering in the middle of the night.
Hmm.
Oh, funny. Oh my God. Okay. Literally, I could keep going and going and going and going. But my point when I said we've all been there was if you're listening at home and this conversation has brought up a cringe moment in your career or your life, hopefully you feel a little bit less bad because at least you didn't get
Spoon
in
anyone.
bed naked with your coworker and spoon them at the sales conference.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Right?
kind of thematic. I remember something similar to that happening more than once because we used to make some people share rooms.
Yes.
So
Yes.
sometimes that would end up in two people misunderstanding what sharing meant.
That, by the way, that wasn't me when I shared with you because you and I shared rooms all the time. And you
I know.
didn't even have to share a room because you were a VP. But
It was way more fun.
I
Way,
would just be like, well, I'm staying with you, right?
way more fun. Mhm.
Okay, speaking of fun, this was very fun.
I love you.
I love you, and I'll see you next time in the Gal Matrix.